Greetings. My name is Oliver. Most people call me the coach. Today I got with me the one and only Mr. Precise Haley, what I consider to be the business therapist, meaning that whatever it takes to massage out these wrinkles in your business, be it marketing, social media, be it branding, being whatever that look you need it to be so that folks can really accept you for who you are, I always go to this man right here. Precise, how you doing, sir?
Man, I'm grateful. I'm happy. It's been a great year. It's been a better month. It's Libra season, man.
I know. We just celebrated your birthday about a week ago.
I turned 25. I know I'm looking a little older than I am. Life has been hard, but I'm feeling great, man.
So, you know, I meet a lot of folks that play around with these dates, but at the end of the day, he is an adult. He knows what he's doing, so he's the kind of guy you want to trust with the end results. Appreciate you having you today.
Oh, thank you, sir. So today is an extra special topic. It is near and dear to my heart. I want to just tell you a little story. I was 23 years old. I was a club promoter. I was a DJ. I was making a lot of cash. When I first started college, you know, when you have orientation, they have them tables out and they sign you up for the credit cards. I signed up for the Amex. I thought I was popping. I had a $300 limit.
Oh, shucks. Not right.
I ran it up, never paid it. My idea at the time was $300. That's whatever, man. I don't need that. It's nothing. I make way more money than that. Who needs credit? There was nothing I was doing at the time that required me to have credit. I wasn't buying no house. Mm-hmm. My car was paid off. It was used. I paid 10 grand. I had no concept of why I needed to have good credit. Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of people are like me.
That's true.
You know, be it 23 or 43, they still don't understand why they need to have good credit. So tell us, Mr. Coach, why do we all need to have good credit?
Well, the way the world's banking and finance system is set up today, it's about a scorecard. The scorecard gives the image or a picture of the individual that's trying to extend themselves to be able to get credit in the form of physical money, credit in the form of goods and services, credit in the forms of renting, purchasing homes, even in the medical field right now.
Okay.
So the world commerce system came to a scenario that says, okay, then how do we distribute this unearned income, meaning that I'm going to give you this and hope that you give that back to us.
Right.
And so they started using the scorecard. And you're right, Precise. The two most vulnerable folks in the credit industry today are students.
Right.
You know, you're right. When you go to Morehouse or any college around the nation, you'll notice that those desks out there, and now they've automated that, which while if you sign up for college, it's like you get approved for college and you get approved for credit to some degree. And you're right, now the limits are more.
Right.
So some 25 years ago, 10 years ago, it used to be $300.
Right.
Now they're giving young adults $2,000-$3,000. So you have to watch for that. So credit is the measurement of where a person at in exchange for what can we give this individual if we're going to take a risk with them.
Right. And so this is my thing when it comes to that, right? As Black people, right, why don't we notice growing up? Like what is the missing thing in our lives, in our community, that we don't have this understanding from when we're 6, 7, 13, 15? I had no clue.
True. Well, you know, financial literacy is a component of growth and wealth. And unfortunately, throughout the last 20, 30 years, it was not on the school boards. Most important things to teach. So we might teach things like arithmetic, mathematics. We might teach you how to count the basics, but we never taught people how to count and do something plus with that, such as an invest, such as save. That was never on the docket. And unfortunately, today, most states in America is still not on the docket. And it makes an issue because by the time a person becomes a young adult between the ages of 18 and 22, their credit or the scoring process is already damaged, and it takes too long to recover that. Think about it. It is October, your birthday month, and in October 2023, they just stated that going back to student loans are priority. So they weren't forgiven. There was a small population of folks whose student loans were forgiven, but for the majority, you got to pay that money back.
My letter's on the table in the living room.
So you got one too?
Yeah. And it states that, hey, it's not forgiven, and now you are going to be responsible to pay this money.
They took the just cause of ensuring that everybody got reminded. And that was one of those guarantees or one of those promises met in the last election. Now, we're not going to get into politics, but think about it. If a person is owing $200, $300, $400 extra a month, crammed in with all the other things that's happening in life, it's creating a ripple effect when it comes down to the aspect of credit or good credit, because now most people got to make a decision.
Right.
Do I pay that or do I pay that?
Well, I was watching this comedy show yesterday. What was his name? Old Country Wayne.
Okay.
And he was talking about credit in the black community. And he was saying that, hey, man, when it comes to credit, man, we don't know anything about credit. We don't care. We put the bills in our kids' names.
Well, that used to be the thing to do. And I'm glad in today's world with technology, we kind of like fixing that. So I think that the fact of past credit indifferences are the challenges to the day, because we're playing catch up. Unlike in the 60s, where they talked about, for example, equal rights or civil rights. What happened was, this is okay then, all men are created equal, 1964. But if you had the jump start, you're still winning. So having less than perfect credit kind of precludes you from being able to go into business for yourself, being able to finance the home of your choosing. And the average credit score in America right now is sitting right around 680. Right. You can purchase a house for 680. A lot of the government programs such as FHA, VA, and those types of programs, what they allow for is you can go down to around 620 or 640. So what do that mean to the average household? It means that I'll get you this house, but I'm going to actually put some more interest on you, or some more APR, which is annual percentage rating, right, which really places a person, they have the house, it looks similar to their neighbor's house, but they're paying more for it.
Yeah. Well, you said earlier that, it's not in our education system.
Sure.
But I got another quick little story. Last year, my son turned 18.
Okay.
Called his mother. I said, hey, I want to add my son to my credit in the form of a trade line, right?
Authorized user.
Yeah, authorized user, simple enough.
Gotcha.
She's supposed to be like, okay. I said, yeah, I need a social to do it. She paused. She got nervous. She's like, let me look into that and get back to you. Like, problematic.
How so?
Because she didn't have the understanding of how it works and the benefit of it, right? I mean, I should have been able to add my son. His score goes up. He turns 18. He's in the game. Mm-hmm. I did it to my nephew. My nephew's in the game. Mm-hmm. And so my thought process at that time was, this is what I'm talking about. Like, we don't have the understanding of this and how it works. It's like a big, scary monster to us when it comes to dealing with it. How do you feel about that?
Well, it comes two ways. You're right. There's a cloud. Say there's a trust factor. Maybe the ex is saying, if I give you his social security number, you're going to run up his credit. You're like, yo, I'm trying to be an honest pop here. I'm trying to give my son something I didn't have, which is a chance at halfway decent credit. And by making him an authorized user, because your credit score in today's climate has boosted up,
right,
you would have been able to give him that jump start, because it takes time.
Yeah.
Age is connected to credit.
Right.
So the older you are, the more likelihood you get some extra points in there. But at 18, doing that for your son, and for anybody out there that has a young adult that's in school or turned into an adult, if you are in a position to make that person an authorized user, do so. But here's the things not to do.
Don't send them a card.
never give them the card you're helping them with, and never have a card that's almost maxed out, right, thinking you're helping the individual, and in essence, you're hurting the individual. But that's a good look that you was trying to do that for your son. Did that ever come to the pass?
No, I did. But look, I did it for my nephew. He just got an apartment last month. He got a new car off of it, super responsible. But I was so happy that I was in a position and knew the information to do that. I wish somebody was able to do it for myself.
Well, it's better than co-signing, isn't it?
Yeah, way better than co-signing.
Co-signing makes you obligated to the debt that that individual's having. So you're toting that debt. And here's a warning. Even if you're married, and I know, congratulations, man.
Yeah.
I know you just jumped that through. It's about time. Welcome to the married life. I think I just did mine, a year and a half ago?
Uh-huh.
So we both kind of like jumped the broom. But I don't advocate what we call a two-income trap. What that is, take, for example, you're married and your spouse, y'all bring your money, your finances, your credit together. I don't think that's feasible moving forward in the 2024.
Okay.
Because what happens is if that one domino that might fall triggers all the family wealth potential to fall with it. So I advocate keep it separate. Now, women might not like this.
Right.
They'd be like, okay, we married now, let's bring it together. I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah,
Now,
you bring 90 and she bring 10 and bring it all together.
now, I'm not going to give the equation on the amount, but it feels that way, fellas. So I'm riding with you. But at the end of the day, you know, the equation of that, if your spouse credit is decent and yours is decent, then keep it that way and maybe communicate what y'all have going on so that you always can stay at a certain level. Now, there's a level that's required through the credit coaching system or through credit in general. It says you want to keep your debts below 30%.
Right.
And I always say take that down 10 more percent.
Right.
Now, if you push in the envelope, I don't think there's going to be a really hard hit to your credit if you push it to 35, 40.
Okay.
Because every month it remodulates.
Right.
It keeps shifting. Because most people are living by the swipe. And now you don't even swipe no more. You tap and go.
Hey, tap.
You got your Apple Card, and with the Apple Card, you have your wallet.
Right.
And technology is so easy to take your money. And then at the end of the month, you got this thing called reoccurring bills. And when you see it, you probably feel like me, probably feel like you,
Right.
damn, I put that much on this month. I got to watch that. So what do you think about people that you might know overspending? And how can we challenge that?
All right, so that living beyond your means, that's another thing in our community that's not quite taught what it's supposed to be. And so, I mean, most of us, including myself, I still struggle with that. You know, you make 100,000, you spend 105,000. How is that possible? I don't even know. You know, you make 20,000, you spend 25. Good friend of mine, not gonna say any names, she's a Libra too. She asked me to borrow some money one time. And I was kind of perplexed because I'm like, "Dude, you make a lot of money." Asked how much money she makes. She in the high 6 figures.
Nice.
Right? And she asked me to borrow small money. And I'm like, "What are you doing with all of your money?" And I mentioned to her, I said, "Hey, my wife lives about the same average as you. It makes like 10% of what you make." And that's when it really clicked to me. I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter how much we make.
That's right.
We're going to spend that and then some. So whether it's 20,000 a year, 50, 100,000, because you know the solution normally in the past is just make more money.
True.
But if you're going to make more and spend more, which most of my friends have that problem, whether they make it 200,000 or 20,000, they spending what they make. And until we're able to like fix that way of thinking, I don't know what that is. Upbringing, it's culture. I don't know what it is.
Well, you know, discipline has a lot to do with your spending habits. Right now, everything is shiny. Every time there's a new car, like right now we're going into this EV evolution with these electronic vehicles, home improvements. We was going through COVID and everybody kind of like swarmed at the Home Depot. And if they had a credit card, they would go ahead and extend that. So how do you live above the means? It's easy to do because some people live for the day. The future has no bearing in them. Like, for example, who knows where we're going to be tomorrow, so why not live it for the day? That's a great rationale for enjoying today.
Right.
But this has this catch-up effect. And in order to be able to stay in front of living above your means, especially in your relationship, somebody got to be the no person. And, you know, we're in Atlanta, Georgia. Every time I turn around, there's a new restaurant.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I don't know about you. You don't drink as much as I like my brown, so I might have tequila and I might have a brown drink, and I see the bill at 120, 140, 150.
That was my bill last night.
Like 3 or 4 days out of a week.
Yeah.
And that's what we call disposable income. And the question would be, is that actually that income that's extra?
Right.
Or are we charging that and eating the food and drinks now, but it comes at 17% interest. It comes at 19% interest. So somewhere in that process, some people need to stay home and learn how to cook. And I'm not saying it's you,
right,
but I know it's me. I was averaging $1,800 a month on eating out every month.
Right.
And that was getting ridiculous. So yes, you're going to have to learn how to stay within your means. If not, it's going to catch up with you, because that statement, that credit card statement, comes whether you're ready for it or not.
Right. So let me ask you this now. All right. So we know why we need good credit.
Gotcha.
We know some of the reasons why a lot of us have bad credit. You mentioned it earlier, your system. How can your system help us fix our credit or boost our credit score or just get good credit, period?
Well, I created this system called the credit coaching system. And it's been out there for 18 years, Better Business Bureau approved, 0 defects, 0 complaints. We're in Georgia, where Georgia credit repair is kind of like illegal. But who cares? People just want their credit fixed. Well, it starts with the individual. It starts with the individual to say, you know what? Let me take control of what I got going on currently. I can't manufacture more money unless I'm hustling people. And if I'm hustling people, that might come back at me. So step one would be get a budget. And you might not like a budget, but it's the first step to discipline, and it's hurt. It stinks. Nobody likes a budget, right? So if you start with a budget, what's the next step? You got to pull your credit report. So you want to pull that credit report, and you can get it from 3 or 4 different sources. I recommend Experian because Experian uses this thing called a FICO model, and the FICO model allows for lenders to see the spending capability of you. So that's free.
Okay.
Now, there's Credit Karma out there, there's Credit Sesame out there. They use a formula called Vantage Scoring. Vantage Scoring, I think, is a hustle because what it does is that it allows a bank, it allows different merchants to run your credit, and then they come up with their own score based upon what they think your behavior looks like. So it doesn't come out in the wars. So if you use Credit Karma, go to a realtor as I wear this hat and say, you know what? I'm ready to buy a house. I think my credit is ready. Send them to the lender. Lender says, your credit's not looking good at all.
Right.
And it kind of hurts to get that bad news. So pulling your credit, getting the discipline, and understanding now, if there's some errors, any error, I don't care how bad the error or how light the error is. If there's an error on your credit report, by law, it has to be removed. So how do we know there's an error if we don't check?
Right.
For example, if I check my credit report and it shows a balance, and that balance does not reflect what I computated, that's an immediate challenge.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, if they place that on my credit report, our system allows 75 different letters that speak to any possible problem on your credit. And all you have to do if you're a member of the system, and it's free to the public, is you click on that particular document, it queries up the information. All you have to do is print it and sign it and send it certified. Right. And you best believe in 30 to 35 days, if these folks don't respond, you're on your way of getting that stuff deleted.
Quick question.
Talk to me.
The documents. Why does a person have to have a specific document? Why can't they just write a letter and say, this ain't mine?
They can't. The key to it is those who receiving those documents look at 2 ways. Like, okay, this person is making a claim, but the way this document is formatted, I might have more than 30 days to deal with that person. Because they're assuming that there's ignorance there. And I would say that coming from Philadelphia, my family used to say there's 2 types of things you got to watch for. It's one thing to be impoverished. That's the aspect of money, finance, you got what you got. But ignorance, that's a different equation.
Right.
So we don't advocate ignorance in the Black community. We may advocate poverty because we're trying to come out, but to be ignorant, that's not cool. So how do you fight that? If my system is providing you all the legal documents that have the verbiage in there that refers to the law that challenges that company, they look at it, meaning the company, as if there's a lawyer involved, so they move faster to get you the results.
That's what the document does.
That's what the document
has the
does.
Legal jargon in it.
It gives you the jargon. AI is that.
Right.
And we've talked about that, where AI can formulate letters for you, but it doesn't show you the format or the flow as shit happens.
Right.
We try to place you in an environment where you don't have to think it through. You go inside of the environment, creditcoachingsystem.com. You go in the environment, it's for free. And when you get in, we make the steps so easy so that folks can get the results. Now, of course, we've talked many a time, you said, why can't it do everything for me? I don't want to do nothing.
Well, your folks don't like to do any work.
Bad credit, is it worth a little time to get a higher score, to get that house, to get that car, to get that purchase that you want from within the right ranges? Let's talk today's interest rate. Interest rates right now is running 7.5% to 7.75% to purchase a house. So you have house purchase numbers going up.
Of course.
You have owners that's living 2 years behind schedule. They're still looking for the highest and best. You have purchasers thinking that the market's going to crash, so they're waiting for the future.
Hey, I'm waiting for the market to crash, man. I was told that Georgia was going to go down 30%. It hasn't gone down.
It's not moving for a number of reasons. It's not moving because the demand to live in Georgia is so damn high. 200 to 225,000 people are relocating here.
Georgia is the spot. It's doing too well.
It's doing too well. It's doing too well. You absolutely.
So let me ask you this final question. All right. You have good credit. The normal things are house, car, like you just named.
Gotcha.
But tell us some of the other advantages of having good credit.
Some of the most important advantages of good credit, of course, lower interest rates. So that means that even if you owe some debts, it's pennies on a dollar. Remember PPP at 1%, 2%, 3%?
Right.
We want those days to come back. Some of the other advantages, you can expand from your personal finances to go into business financing. They say, well, no credit check needed, but 4 to 5 times they want to see your credit report. So they might say, I see your credit report, you're not a risk, man, we're not going to use it, but in most cases they do. Some of the other benefits of having good credit is you're not using your hard-earned money.
Right.
You're using somebody else's money, and credit's supposed to have been designed to use OPM, other people's money,
So you
to
can
make
make
sure you're
moves.
green. So
Yeah,
you can
so
make moves.
So you can make moves.
So you want to make moves with other people's money, but you can't make moves with nobody's money. Their money ain't right.
So if a person wanted to get in contact with you, or more importantly, sign up and get access to the system, how could they find you?
It's real simple. creditcoachingsystem.com. That's a general website. You can go there, or you can go to creditcoachingsystem.com/power2live. If you go in that format, it'll connect with me and we'll see if we can get you help. We got training modules coming up in the month of November and December that's free to you. And if you're a real estate professional, we're also putting together programs for you to help your clients get better credit improvement.
So you could get more sales.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it.
Make more money.
Make
right?
more money. Yes, sir.
Oh, man, this was incredible. First of all, we could talk forever. I got like 30 more questions, so we have to do a part 2.
Yes, sir.
But for the sake of time, I'm just so happy to have you here finally, right? And people, we're going to be back every week now. I got some time. I got some energy. I'm feeling great. So make sure you find me at p6brandagency.com and precise.biz. That's PRESISE. And I will see you guys
Before
later.
you close. Before you close. My name is Oliver Adams.
Yes.
And if you want to find me, go to oliveradams.com. Sorry about
Easy.
that.
No, that's easy. That's too easy.
That's too easy.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right.